Okay, so first one, cosine squared by itself. So there's only one trig term. If you isolate it, you can solve. So I'm gonna move the 2 over. So I have -3, -4 cosine squared. And then I can divide by -4. So cosine squared equals 3/4, which is not a unit circle. But you take square root. Square root of cosine squared is cosine. And the square root here is radical 3 over 2 and negative radical 3 over 2. Don't forget to take square root, you get 2 answers. So our final answer is everywhere that the cosine is radical 3 over 2. Cosine is x coordinate. Nickel. So radical 3 over 2 and 1/2. So these are all the pi over 6s. This is positive or negative. It's any of the pi over 6. So it's 1/6. And the next place would be 1/6 less than pi. That would be 5/6. 1/6 more than pi, and 1/6 less than 2 pi. Don't forget, if you take square root, you got in plus minus. Guilty. Second one is already kind of solved. Multiply both sides by -1, and you get cosine squared equals 1. Take the square root. Don't forget when you take square root, though, now it becomes plus or minus 1. So cosine is 1 at 0, and we are including 0 according to our domain. Pi, not 2 pi. 2 pi is not in the domain. This is only less than, not less than 3. And if you put 2 pi, you're not like that person. You see the domain. You think about looking at the domain. If you do it again, you are bad. Okay? Next one, we have 2 cosine terms. So we should factor out a greatest common factor. You solve this just the same way you would, how would you solve x squared plus x? Take out an x and it leaves you with x plus 1. So do the same thing, just take out a cosine. Cosine theta with cosine theta plus 1. So my solutions are where the cosine of theta equals 0. And for this one, cosine theta plus 1 equals 0. So cosine of theta equals -1. Cosine is 0 at where? Half and 3/2. Cosine of theta is -1 at pi. Okay? So 3 solutions. Questions on that? The answers are also on the back. Check it. So there's no secrets. The next one looks scary. Lots of numbers. Get them all on one side of the equation before you get scared. It's actually not bad. Everything on one side. Let's try to figure out something. So this looks all fancy at first. So fancy. And no, you're not. Subtract 2 tangent squared. And that's gone. You're not as fancy as you thought you were. Radical 3 tangent squared theta plus tangent theta. Factor out tangent theta. Leave me with radical 3 tangent theta plus 1 equals 0. They're not ready to solve. Tangent theta is 0. remember, tangent is sine over cosine. So I need to know, basically this question is saying, where is the sine 0? Because if the numerator is 0, the whole thing's 0. So where is the sine 0? 0, pi would be 2 pi, but it's not in our domain on the original part. Okay, second, this is a little different. Tangent radical 3 plus 1 equals 0. Set that equal to 0. Tangent of theta equals negative 1 over radical 3. Okay, now, you can leave it like that if you want. Okay, or you can write it as sine and cosine. Or you can just start thinking about what makes the tangent 1 over radical 3. And so you get out here in a circle hand. Tangent is the y coordinate over the x coordinate. So the y coordinate being 1, the x coordinate being radical 3. Okay? So all of this happens at the sixth, right? Tangent is 1 over radical 3, but not at every sixth. It only happens at the sixth, because we're talking about negative. It happens at the sixth where we have one of the coordinates being positive and one of them being negative, which would be in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. So we're only talking about those two spaces. That's where it gets a little bit tricky. Over here, tangent's positive, tangent's positive. That's tic-tac-toe we play at home now. It's like heads I win, tails you lose. You ever play that game? That's a fun one to play with little brothers and sisters. I just flip a coin. Heads I win, tails you lose. See how many times they go before they figure out. Some of you have figured it out. Okay. Theta equals 5 6 pi and 11 6 pi. Don't you wish you'd go back and do this stuff in pre-calc again now that you got a big perspective on the world? You can see where it all fits. So let me write this up here. If you were going to solve this thing right here, and you did this, can you do that? Can you find an answer doing that? I mean, you can do it. Can you find an answer doing that? No. The reason we can solve by factoring is because of the zero multiplication rule. Because if this is 0, the whole thing's 0. If this is 0, the whole thing's 0. It does not work. There's not a 5 multiplication rule that says if this is 5, the whole thing is 5. If this is 5, the whole thing's 5. It doesn't work. Okay? So, when you set stuff equal to 0, don't be going back on your word. Liar. So 4, negative 4, if I bring this over, this becomes positive 2 sine squared theta. Plus 3 sine theta plus 1. It is the same as if you were factoring 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. Okay? So factoring, just like you factor a quadratic point, it's a trig radic. It's a technical term for second degree trig equations, trig radics. Okay? So this factors into 2 sine theta and sine theta. Okay, the only choice I have is 1. You can make your little magic squares if you like them. But all I have is choice is 1, and I don't know what's out. 1 sine theta, 2 sine theta, 3 sine theta, good. That works because I can use my zero multiplier rule now. So I set 2 sine theta plus 1 equals 0, and sine theta plus 1 equals 0. And then you can solve for that. So most of you are starting to run into, you see when you have an error. That's good. That's an improvement. You're like, it's now in the unit circle. I must have done something wrong. That's the most common mistake made in calculus, is that temptation to not set stuff equal to 0 because it's just right there for you But I don't want to. Does that help on that one? Help shake your head loose from the strain watching this one. So, okay. So 2 cosine. I'm going to rewrite this as cosine squared plus 2 cosine. So this is the same as x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So if that helps you, some of you will take calculus beyond your wildest dreams as you go to college. You won't even know it yet. And one of the ways that we do substitution is to take out like trig things and put in u or v or other. Sometimes you take out variables and put in trig as a type of substitution. It seems like it makes it more difficult, but it actually makes it easy. So cosine of theta plus 1, cosine of theta plus 1, so it's a double root. Okay? So we're talking about where the cosine of theta is equal. I'm going to leave it at that. Just pi. Okay? And 8. Oh boy. Cosines and sines. No. No. Seems different. What am I going to do? Set everything on one side. So I gotta get rid of. I got a sine, I got a sine, and a cosine. Can I get rid of my cosine? 1 minus sine squared. Yes, 1 minus sine squared. So 3 sine theta plus 1 minus sine squared theta minus 2 minus sine squared. So change it into a problem I know how to do. So I have negative 2 sine squared theta plus 3 sine theta plus minus 1. Now before you factor this, I would change all the signs. I'm going to assume I'm going to factor it that way. So I'm going to change this to plus, minus. I don't like to factor with negative. Okay? That factors into what, 2 sine minus 1, sine minus 1. Okay? Alright, let's keep going. Same strategy here, okay? Keep the sine, get rid of the cosine. Well, let's go to the last one. Let's get the last one. We've got cosecant. Okay, let's check it out. Bring cosecant squared over, so we have cosecant squared equals cosecant. Do not cancel out a cosecant. Okay? Factor out a cosecant before you factor out a cosecant. Leave you with cosecant minus 1.
Yeah.
What?
2 cosine.
Where did it go? Try it.
Yep. No, the other two.
Oh, it went away. How's that? Work. Okay. Back to magic. Two solutions. This is where I would switch stuff back to sine. You don't have to. But 1 over sine is cosine. So we need to set 1 over sine equal to 0. And this one you can probably leave like it is or change it. Cosecant minus 2 equals 0. That means cosecant equals 2. Then you take the reciprocal. Reciprocal cosecant is sine. Sine equals 1/2. So where does this happen? Where is 1 divided by something equal to 0? Is it anywhere? No. It's not anywhere. It never happens. So the temptation is to pick 0 there. Right? But there's no theta that, if you put 0, 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So this is really extra solutions. Okay? That's a little tricky. Over here, sine and theta is 1/2. When you can change stuff back to sine and cosine, I recommend it. Okay? You need me to go back to any of the other ones that we didn't do? Number 6. Okay. So bring that all over, or bring it over here either way. So negative tangent squared theta minus 2 tangent theta minus 1. But I would change this to plus, plus, plus. So this factors into tangent theta plus 1 tangent theta